Seeing a pangolin in the wild is such a special and wonderful experience. Maybe it's your first, maybe it's not. Either way, it's so incredibly rare, and that's what makes it so special. Nobody knows how many pangolins there are left in the wild, so when you encounter one, you need to bear in mind a few simple guidelines so that you can enjoy the moment with this wonderful animal without causing it any undue stress or harm. At Pangolin Africa, we've been working hard with pangolin specialists, vets, guides, trackers, and conservation groups to develop some pangolin viewing guidelines for you to enjoy the encounter in a safe and respectful manner. Pangolins are very shy and sensitive creatures, and being stressed can make them change their natural behavior drastically, causing them long-term harm and sometimes even costing them their lives. Most people are unaware when a pangolin is stressed, so in this short film we're going to describe some signs of stress in the pangolin as well as offer some pangolin viewing guides. So let's get started. Pangolins are predominantly nocturnal, so you're most likely to see them in the early hours of the morning or as the sun is just setting. This is when they're most active, looking for ants and termites. When a pangolin encounters something that it perceives to be a threat, its first reaction is to freeze and use its excellent sense of smell and hearing to identify the potential threat. Pangolins don't run away. Have you seen how small their legs are? Instead, they use their hard scales to protect themselves by either rolling into a ball or lying flat against the ground. They will stay like this until the threat has moved on and they can relax again. This tactic is incredibly effective against predators like big cats, as they find this defense almost totally impregnable. And because the pangolin is not running away like their other more common prey, they soon get bored and move on to find something else. When a pangolin is curled up or lying flat, it is stressed. It is in a hyper-defensive posture and using a lot of energy to remain so. For that reason, it is never a good idea to approach a pangolin that is curled up or lying flat on the ground. In fact, our experts recommend that you never be closer than 10 meters to a pangolin if you are on foot. This should be doubled to 20 meters if the pangolin is with a pangolin baby, which is known as a pup. Perhaps you've seen pictures of people posing for a selfie next to a curled up pangolin, but this is never advisable. This is a stressed animal. Pangolins can't make a sound to show you that they're stressed. They can't yelp, bark, or cry. All they can do is go super defensive, and that's why we need to keep our distance. It goes without saying that picking up or handling a pangolin is a big no-no. Besides the risk of cutting yourself on the super sharp scales, you will only stress the pangolin even more. A stressed pangolin will also stop feeding and try to move away from the threat. This again causes problems, as pangolins need all the time they can get to forage and feed. Reducing this time has a serious impact on their well-being. It's important to never chase after or follow a pangolin that is trying to move away from you. When you're observing a pangolin from a game viewer, it's best to position yourself downwind and switch off the engine. Pangolins have an exceptional sense of smell and will try to move away from unfamiliar scents like car fumes and people. Try to keep all noise to a minimum and avoid sudden movements that might scare off the pangolin. If the pangolin moves away into taller grass or thicker bush, you should never follow in a vehicle. The pangolin may be seeking shelter in the grass, and there is a real risk of it being accidentally injured or killed by the car wheels. If the pangolin you're watching carries on foraging and exhibiting relaxed behavior, then enjoy the sighting, from 10 meters away of course. If you manage to get a photo, please don't give away its location when you post it on social media. Remove all GPS data from the image if your camera has that function. And don't mention anything in the post that might give its location away, like tagging the camp or lodge in the post. We don't want to give the poachers any extra advantage, do we? When you're observing a pangolin at night, remember they are very sensitive to light, and so don't shine a torch directly onto them. If your light has a red filter, then that's better, but still not directly onto the pangolin. Flash photography is not advised, especially if the pangolin is with a pup. If you think you've identified the location of a burrow being used by a pangolin, then it's not a good idea to stake it out waiting for the pangolin to emerge. Pangolins have incredible hearing and will wait inside until they think it's safe to emerge. You may think you're being super quiet, but the pangolin will know you're there. This delay will cut down on their foraging time and have a negative effect on their well-being. The only thing that is better than seeing one pangolin is seeing two, as they will most likely be a breeding pair. This is incredibly rare, as pangolins live solitary lives and only come together for a short time to breed. It is especially important to observe these guidelines in this instance, as we don't want to do anything that might cause them to separate. Pangolin pups are possibly the most adorable young wild animals, and if you see them with their mother, they will most likely be riding on her back as she forages. Pangolin pups feed off their mother's milk, and she needs to forage and feed more than normal to keep up with production. When a pangolin is with her pup, she will be on high alert for potential threats and will curl herself around her baby if she senses any sort of danger. It's vital that you move away immediately should this occur at a sighting of a mother and a pup. You need to let her and her baby carry on foraging uninterrupted. These might seem like some pretty strict guidelines, but everything has been designed and developed by our specialists to make sure we can all enjoy seeing a pangolin without causing it any undue stress or harm. As we said at the start, we don't know how many pangolins there are left in the wild, but we do know it's not many, as otherwise we would see them more often. This is your chance to help pangolins on their road to recovery as a species. Following these guidelines and sharing them with fellow wildlife enthusiasts will mean that the pangolins we do encounter can be observed without causing them any temporary or long-term harm or distress. If you're willing to stick to these guidelines and educate others of the same, then we invite you to become a Pangolin Guardian. Simply complete the short test after this film, confirming you understand the guidelines, and we will send you a certificate of membership. You will also be eligible to purchase a Pangolin Guardian's badge, which we hope you will wear with pride. As a Pangolin Guardian, it is your responsibility to educate as many people as possible about this wonderful creature, because if people don't know, why should they care? Thank you.